So for the first time in a couple of years, I'm reacting to Nick Fuentes because he's had a horrible take. Apparently, he's telling people to vote Democrat, as in don't vote for Trump or any Republican down ballot in 2026 in about 8 months. And if you are going to vote, vote for the Democrats to stick it to the Republicans. This is because he's been fear mongering. If you haven't been watching him for that long, apparently there's a title of one of his streams from 7 years ago where the guy says "War with Iran?" question mark. So he's been fear mongering. He's doing the "I told you so" generational run thing, and the Ayatollah is now dead. So let's see.
Gone horribly wrong. All of those people, with some exceptions, were never Trumpers in 2016. Shapiro didn't vote for Trump in 16. Mark Levin was critical of Trump in 2016. Where were these people when the movement was actually born, when those pillars were in place? Now all of those people are in the center. The movement is something else now.
Okay, now he does have a point. A lot of those people 10 years ago hated Trump's guts, and now we're using him kind of. Shapiro, Levin, common theme, okay, with the last names. However, most people, the Posobiec's, the Kirks, back, last year, they all, hesitantly supported the president and believed in him, including me, who liked him from 2015 onwards, right? Even as a, 12-year-old at the time. And we still support the stuff in Iran. At least I do. And now he's going to try to conflate it and poison the well.
And what we need in 2028, this is our last chance. We need in 2026 for this administration to be shut the fuck down. What does this administration do other than cover up the Epstein files, embezzle?
You don't care. This guy has a Epstein quarter zip with the USA logo as like a parody of Epstein. He'll make jokes defending that sort of stuff all the time. And then on top of that, did he not go through the list and he was like, the liberals are using this to attack Trump. And then now he's playing into their hand by saying he won't release the Epstein files. Nick is the first person, including me also, that would call out Gaylord like Thomas Massey, who's just a narcissist trying to boost his own self-esteem. And again, was Nick badgering people about the Epstein list 5 years ago when Trump was out of office and Biden was in power? No, and all the Democrats are also sanctimonious, and they don't care about the Epstein list. That's why I, as a supporter of Trump, said, okay, well, he released half of it. I don't care. I didn't really care to begin with.
Government contracts and bring us to war for Israel. This administration needs to be shut down immediately. Do not vote in the midterms, and if you do, vote for Democrats. Fuck this.
Whoa.
That is what the Republicans deliver. That is what our golden age looks like. The tariffs were refunded. The deportations were stopped. They wound down and withdrew the ICE from Minneapolis. What does this administration do other than embezzle money, go to war with Iran, and bury the Epstein files? Oh, and blackmail Harvard so they police anti-Semitism and ban people who criticize Israel from being in America. This administration needs to be shut down immediately. It has forfeited its mandate.
What's the alternative, though? Republicans lose the Senate, they lose the House, Trump gets impeached. They won't get rid of him, obviously, because you need 2/3 of the Senate. That's never going to happen. But what, the Republicans take an L? They won't really change anything because Trump will still be in power. Vance will go with whatever Trump tells him to do come 2029 even. And then at that point, you have Peter Thiel puppeteering Vance if your guy Newsom doesn't become the president or whatever the hell happens. How does it get any better? The only way you can play this as a right-wing Christian is to back the president, even if he makes mistakes. And meanwhile, you're saying, oh, well, actually, if the Democrat, like, what the fuck? This is accelerationism, but stupid, because that was a thing like 10 years ago.
They promised no new wars. They promised mass deportations in America first.
They're trying.
And we're not getting any of it. So shut it down. In 2026, shut it down. And
you're not losing weight fast enough. You're not deporting enough, so let's just give up. Why? And then what? And then when you get mugged by an illegal immigrant, now what? Come
our
on.
only hope is that in 2028, in the Republican primary, somebody will emerge who will actually put America first. I am not voting for the vice president and the secretary of state that brought us to war in Iran. I won't do it.
First of all, it's a war where only 3 guys have been dead in like several days at this point. Number 2, we took out the Ayatollah real quick. We did pretty much the same thing to a smaller degree in Venezuela, and that worked out swimmingly. Okay, that went really well. Maduro gone. He's in prison now. My point being is that he's underestimating the president. Meanwhile, he's bluffed his way out of war every other month 20 different times, when he struck Syria to prove a point politically, when he bombed ISIS, when he killed Baghdadi, when he killed Soleimani, the biggest general, like the Douglas MacArthur, the Eisenhower of the Persian state of Iran. And what happened exactly? Nobody died on our side. So my point being that he's not really being consistent with what he's been saying the last several years. And he was also defending Trump bombing Iran, by the way, in 2020. So this is really rich from this guy of all people. And then beyond it also, he's saying, oh, well, we need somebody to primary, not Trump, but Vance. Now, who is the most prominent person to do that? Nikki Haley, no good. Okay, Vivek Ramaswamy, hell no. James Fishface out of Florida, he won't be governor. Okay, now who's the next person? Well, what about Steve Bannon? Now, apparently Nick and Bannon were beefing years ago. I don't know. I have acquaintances that know stuff. Anyway, the point being is that Bannon is the same guy who not only keeps saying over and over again, Trump's running for 2028, he can constitutionally become president a third time, which is bogus, right? That's pretty much not going to happen. But he's doing that so that he can say, I'm the real Trump guy. You're a stooge, sociopath, Vance. And then he'll take up the MAGA mantle, and somehow he's going to charm Trump, who fired his ass, Sloppy Steve, like 9 years ago in 2017, and all of a sudden he's going to win the primary. And do you honest to God think that Sloppy Steve would mog Gavin Newsom on the debate stage come 2028? You age the guy who looks like an alcoholic, and he might as well be one because he acts erratic. Fat Steve Bannon, okay, in his 70s. You think he's going to beat the Democrat? Who the fuck thinks that? That's stupid. He's doing that in bad faith. There's no way Nick is that dumb. On top of that, who else could he possibly run that would be better, that's over 35 by 2028? It doesn't make sense. If anything, you're going to see Herbert Walker Bush versus Buchanan 1992 campaign, where the guy is maybe going to lose in the general against the Democrat, like in the case of Bush, but Buchanan would get maybe 20% of the primary vote, and he'll make the social conservative platform bigger, but then it leads to nothing and Clinton wins, okay? So yeah, maybe Bannon gets Vance to promise no immigration. Oh, we're going to not fund AIPAC, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden, what happens? Newsom wins by a lot. And then what? So it's stupid.
2026.
Also, Trump didn't release the Epstein list, golden years, by the way. And it's like, number one, Epstein was interviewed by Bannon notoriously right before he died in 2018 going into 19 for several hours, like over 2 days. He was actually, as far as I know, allegedly laundering money for Epstein through Magic the Gathering or World of Warcraft, one of those things. I don't know what the neckbeard was doing 20 years ago, but the point is that he's a scumbag who was trying to rehabilitate the image of Epstein. Meanwhile, you're using that as a cudgel to beat Trump with. So then how the fuck are you going to answer questions about potentially backing Bannon in 2 years from now, in 2028 and even 27 for the primary, for the GOP nomination? How are you going to answer that?
Shut it down. You got to burn the house down with them inside, metaphorically. And in 28, you better hope that somebody has a prayer to run the Trump strategy
like
and
who?
do another hostile takeover over the GOP.
Like who?
Otherwise, I'm going to become a Democrat. Like at that point,
why? Just give up on politics.
Rather than be beholden to this country, that is our last chance. 28 Republican primary. We need a Trumpian figure to relight the candle. Someone needs to take the flame and take it further than Trump. He needs to take the baton and take
Don
it
Jr.?
further and fulfill America first. That is the only way out of this at this point. And anybody that is not on this is not serious. The only takeaway that I have from all of these events, you are not pressuring this administration. All these people told us, if Trump brings us to war in Iran, we'll just tweet about it. Yeah, well, that's not really working, is it?
Okay, but what you're doing isn't working. So in summary, Nick Fuentes is completely backsliding, and he contradicts himself all the time. And while he is a pretty good commentator, he's pretty entertaining. Not gonna lie, the competition isn't the strongest. You know, be it Jan Goyle or God knows who the fuck else on the Blaze. But whatever. Also, Nick Fuentes just recently tweeted saying Trump betrayed MAGA and America first. He has lost his mandate to govern. I cannot and will not vote for the GOP unless they put America and Americans first. If they keep voting for what they dragged us into with regional war in Iran, then you will vote for absolutely anything. Well, that's not going to do anything. So he's, again, spreading fear porn. He is basically player hitting on the president. Meanwhile, he's succeeding. You could argue, well, actually, it's not the most prudent thing. Or even better yet, you could say, well, it's serving Israel and we shouldn't be serving other countries. That's all fine and dandy. I kind of agree. But still, you got to back the president, okay? Because who the hell else is going to take control? Vance? Or Rubio? Or Bannon's not going to fucking win. Jesus, really? Are you kidding me? So, oh my God, so fucking dumb. Anyways, Nick is Nick. Like the video if you liked it. Comment down below your thoughts. I know a lot of people are going to hate on this, but whatever, okay? Balls are on the table. Nothing's off the table. And subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Adios.